Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 podcast. Your host, Braden Figueroa, Costas Garcia, and Chase Alexander.
Go. Here we go, baby.
Episode 2. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels good. We're back.
Feels even better second time around.
I can't believe we've been doing this for years. Producer Matt is just like really proud of us. Yeah. Our lovely producer that we just hold and trust.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. It feels good. It feels good to be back. I think that the first episode went way better than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah. The first one. Yeah.
It also helps because we have all of the equipment to run a podcast for the most part already,
Yep.
So it's not like we're just making this new thing,
right?
We've made a few videos.
This is kind of just laying around, huh?
Literally, yeah. It was literally on our gear shelf.
Is my mic different than your mic? Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's all good.
We decided on this next shoot we will buy you a new mic.
Part of the budget is allocated to Chase's new mic. Yeah.
Chase also likes to just be different, so I think it's fitting that he has the different mic.
Well, I think that when we do get a guest on, we're gonna give the guest the mic like this, so we can all match.
And I'm back to this mic.
You're back to
That's
that
great.
mic. Yeah, 100%. We can't just
maybe on the next shoot we'll get another mic.
Yeah. Maybe 2 shoots from now.
Right.
I think this past weekend I'm just like exhausted.
Yeah, dude.
You had a big weekend.
Huge weekend. I mean, it was fun to go with the team. We finally got to go on a road trip to Sacramento, best city in America.
What team? What team is that?
The Los Angeles.
It's a big team.
And when you say
Angeles.
When you say road trip,
wait, which
you
Los
mean,
Angeles?
I mean, we're flying, baby.
We're flying private.
We're flying private.
And ladies, it's the Lakers. It's not the Clippers. It's not the Clippers.
Yeah, we're not stopping for gas.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
The Clippers are driving in a truck. For sure.
It was cool because
Hey, LeBron, you're trying to carpool? Or like,
yeah, I should have asked him.
Kawhi and PG for sure.
Go into the facility. I'm like, hey, do you think we could hop? Could I just pop?
We both
on?
live in Brentwood,
Yeah, I don't think Kawhi's saying one word on that drive up.
No, not a chance.
No
I bet he listens to podcasts. I actually heard he listens to 505 podcasts.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the best pod, the number one created pod.
Yeah.
But it was really fun, and we got to. It was nice because I'd already been to that place, the arena from Summer League, because we went to the little Summer League thing. So I already knew pretty much everything, what to expect out of the hotel, like the travel itinerary. So it was very like, just got in, did my thing, and got out of there. It was
that's a pretty cool experience, getting to go on a private jet with the Los Angeles Lakers.
So, dude, actually on the way there though, our team charter was broken, and I was like, "Did you guys not tell them that I was coming?" Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was broken on the way there, so we had to fly on a regular person plane.
Oh my God forbid!
And I was like, you're kidding, right?
Yeah.
Like this has got to be some kind of sick
I mean,
joke.
Coast has just learned that you can turn right when you enter a plane.
Dude,
I didn't just figure that out.
I didn't know that like the seats went all the way back to like double digits on a plane.
But anyways, we get there. They're like, okay, here's like the normal plane. I'm like, oh, it's fine, like whatever. It's still a nice big plane, There's no one there, so we got a full row on the way over.
Sure.
Then on the way back, we did get the plane was back. They fixed it. They fixed it up, and we got the big seats, the big reclined seats. And I always pick the window seat though, so we can get the nice little phone video.
That's the filmmaker in you.
Yeah, you got to have the phone spot right at the wing, so then you get the little
you don't
thing.
Sacrifice leg room for the shot.
Absolutely not. It was funny because on the way over there, I did like a little travel piece, right? They're like walking on the plane, do a little travel piece. Then I was editing on the plane. I was like, it'd be sick. It was just a really bitchin' shot of this ocean out here, because and I knew from the previous flight that the route was gonna sweep out around Malibu, and they dive. It's super weird. They like literally tilt the plane a little bit.
Oh,
I don't know why.
That's kind of tight.
No idea why. But I was waiting for it. I was like, this is gonna come once we pass Malibu, and they dove a little bit. Got out my phone, got that little sick clip that I needed, tossed it in the edit. Because my camera was packed up. I wasn't gonna go like take it out. So
and that's also a shot that only a veteran's gonna know.
Only a veteran.
Only a vet's gonna know that.
But is there another shot that you got that weekend that you're proud of?
I got the bucket shot.
Yeah.
Let's hear about it.
So I was for the game. We split time on the court. So the other videographer, the senior guy, he's down there for the first half, and so then he's like, "You're gonna take the second half," and I was like, "Okay, that's totally fine." But I was like, "Damn." Our good friend LeBron.
Like it's preseason.
Yeah, they're probably going to be resting,
right.
And not that that's like all it's about, but like, we want Bron out there, get a good shot of Mr. LeBron. So LeBron comes back in the second half. When I was down there, I was like, holy shit, no way. Like, let's go. And I'm on my phone on Slack, like messaging a clip, like cutting a clip or something. And I just see, like, you always have your camera facing the other side,
sure,
right?
Facing the action.
It's facing the action, and it's pre-recording for 2 seconds.
Nice.
So when you click record,
we stay ready so you don't gotta get ready.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, I saw this fast break happening. I was like, holy shit! Like, huck my phone, pull up, and I just see Russ coming down, just blazing down the right side. LeBron's right there on the left.
And these guys are fast.
They're so fast. And I'm like, just give it to Bron, give him the hammer, and he gives it to him, and just this absolute boom, just probably the prettiest shot I think I've ever captured, and I've captured that same shot probably 55 times, 100 times, just not with LeBron.
Just not with LeBron.
It's different.
It's super different. I remember when it happened, I was like, my hands were shaking. I got like goosebumps. And I was just smiling. I was like, this is actually an insane clip. And then I made sure to check that I was recording. Thank God.
It was in focus.
It was in focus. Yeah, dude, just a few things that go through your mind. Immediately I looked down like, fuck, what if I didn't hit that little red button?
Did I forget the memory card?
Oh my God.
Dude, we were talking about just like when we were starting out, like things that we did with like clients on set on their first shoots, and then you got to act it off. like you're like, oh, like I remember I definitely forgot a memory card and like called an Uber like that, like from my like roommate, like Zane, like put it in the Uber. It's going to be okay. Like, I didn't have it. I had no way to record. And I'll be like, like just like the way that the sun is just like works right now. Like if it doesn't come over this building, it's going to be like 30 minutes. So we're just going to have to wait 30 minutes for the light to be right. And you're just playing off and you got to just pretend like you know what you're doing. And then you never let them know that you just forgot your memory
poker
card.
face, man.
I think we've all probably done that. I think people do that all the time. Like, I mean, we're getting better. We're forgetting less stuff now, but like.
What would you say is your worst thing you've forgotten?
I mean, I've definitely like, I've forgotten like an adapter for a lens, so just like can't use the lens or whatever. And just be like, you know what? Like, actually, I feel like this lighting would lend itself to an iPhone pretty well. So like, we're just gonna rock the iPhone.
Thank God for decent quality iPhone,
It's just all about acting. You gotta play it off, man.
I remember I did a shoot with this barber, and we drove 2.5 hours to the coast of Oregon.
Oh God! No.
And I'm getting in the car, everything's packed, like drones packed, like all the good stuff's packed. Get out there, look at the drone, and I go, oh shit, don't have that memory card.
Oh yeah,
that's probably
already in the air.
But I go, it's already up in the air. I go, okay, no drone. I just don't like. We're just not gonna use the drone. Then I open the fucking camera. No memory card. And I'm
no.
And I'm like, oh my God, like
double whammy.
We're like actually
we're not recording anything.
No, we're not recording anything. So then
today's just not the day.
I hit him. I go, do you had a camera in the back of your car, right? He had a T like 3i or something.
Same memory card.
No, this is unreal. So he opens the memory card, hands it to me. It's 4 gigabytes.
Oh,
4. And so I'm like,
that's a pea shooter.
No, yeah. So I'm like, I didn't even know they made 4. I didn't even know there was a thing. Yeah. You ever heard of a 4 gigabyte memory card?
Was Rookie
I
hour?
thought it was 16. I thought 16 would be like the biggest. Anyways, it's 4.
He must have been filming for the Clippers.
It's
right, slammed him.
Got him.
It's 4, and I'm like, oh, okay. So what I did was I only recorded 3 to 4 second clips.
Yeah.
And I shot it like it was gonna be edited. So I would just be like push, be like end right there, like
turn, in the beginning of Instagram videos when you had to like cut it yourself, like or when you're making a TikTok for like the newer kids, you know, they probably don't remember the Instagram in the very beginning.
No, exactly.
You like literally and then like end record like as an edit.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And I was
that's so funny. You didn't fill it up?
No. So then it fills up like probably 75% of the way through, and I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna edit the video right now on this thing. So I just started deleting some clips. Like, that's not good to select. Like, I was just pulling selects and just didn't say anything. And I chefed up a banger. It was sick. It was really cool. It was and he loved it. And we like still laugh. We laughed about it forever. He cut my hair for a minute. It was funny.
Really? He was always about it?
He was like, you're just dumb. And I was like, I know.
The thing is, you just like can never let the client know that you're freaking out inside because we've all been there. You either forgetting a memory card. Yeah. For me, I've like either taken a tripod or like my Ronin and like remembered the thing but forgot the plate.
Yeah,
I ran you the plate like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm
still forgetting.
It's it's so easy though. You really have to have a big checklist. You got to have the checklist.
I have one on my phone.
And dude, like I was shooting for Genesis. Like we had this fat house, the car which is not out yet, very difficult to get our hands on. Shooting it halfway through, my memory card is just like, it's corrupt. It's just like, you're done.
Oh, I remember you coming home from that shoot and like freaking out.
And I was freaking out, and we weren't done shooting, so like, I can't write any more files onto this card.
Otherwise it was going to corrupt. So
it just said it's corrupt. Like you can't even take a picture. Like it just said no. But then I remembered I had my personal camera because I wanted to shoot some like BTS of myself. Put that SD in for a little bit. Used it, finished the shoot, but then the whole way home, I'm like, we don't have anything. The whole thing is corrupted.
Probably like what, 20% of the shots you think at this point?
75%. Literally almost the whole shoot was on that card. I was like, we don't have it. Got on the computer. It turns out there's some geniuses that make some software that fix these problems. Fixed it. unreal.
You just Googled it?
It's just like download janky software. It's like $100.
That's insane.
Just worth it.
Oh, you had to download something for $100.
Oh yeah. Oh, another thing we do that I know you do is like, say like you're listening to the audio or you're trying to like pull focus.
Dude, audio is my worst.
Yeah,
Dude, don't even talk to me about it.
And you just miss, and you're like, you know what? Like, it was good, but like, I just feel like your energy could have been a little bit more. So like, let's just run it back. Let's run it back, even though it was just completely you. They did a perfect job.
Yeah, I think every DP can relate, or audio person can relate to being on a shoot and then hearing like a wind go, and you're like, oh, son of a bitch. Like,
and then you have to tell them, you're like, like you said. Don't like that take. You could have brought a little bit more energy.
This is what I need from you. I just need you to like, enunciate a little better. It's on you. It's not my fault.
And then sometimes you're 6 takes in, and he's like, "Did one of them work?" And I was like, "Nope."
Same thing every time,
dude.
Yeah, he's like, it's been the exact same.
Audio is actually my worst nightmare.
I think audio is the easiest thing. No, but here's the thing with audio. Audio is the easiest thing to mess up, but if you do it right, no one ever is going to tap you on the back and be like, dude, your audio is so sick.
It's like being the goalie, dude.
Yeah. 100%. It's expected.
You expected to not let any goals in. You let a goal in, everyone's like, why'd you let that goal in, man?
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard, though.
Oh, man.
I will say one thing, though, if you're kind of just getting into this filmmaking game, if you mess up, right? One, don't let the client know. But also, if you're in the edit and something's going wrong or like you notice something, like let's say the audio is bad.
Yeah. Slightly bad. Yeah.
You can kind of tell, but not really.
Yeah.
Don't ever say anything to the client.
Don't call it out because it's the only thing they'll be able to focus on when they listen to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I mean, even with audio that sometimes I'd say like you change something, a lot of times they don't even notice that it's changed. Cause dude, it's so subjective. Like you're sending someone off something and they're usually looking for like one or two things. Like, okay, is everything not blown out?
Right.
You might say to this person in the process, it's just to make sure that all the clips aren't hideous.
And a lot of the client is looking at is like, is my brand represented here? Like they don't even look at the things that we look at or focus on things that we focus on.
And we're over here like, oh, that thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like my first like mentor when I was just editing Nike commercials was basically like, I was about to show him like a cut, like my first cut, and he'd come over and I'd say like, all right, here's the cut, but like at 1 minute 2 seconds, like there's this weird thing that I don't know if it's that good yet, and like there's this, and he said never do that to me again, because now I'm just gonna wait for the 1 minute 2 seconds. I'm the only thing I'm gonna do to know this. I won't even be able to like watch the edit because I'm just gonna be thinking about what you said sucks. He's like, don't preface it ever. And then at the end, like I'll tell you what I think is bad. And a lot of times it wasn't even the thing that I thought was going to be bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do that. I literally used to do that all the time until you told me that. And it's just such a game changer. And I've had at least 10 instances that I've noticed things that bug me, but I'm like, you know what? It's unfixable. This is unfixable. It literally cannot be fixed, and no one else is going to notice it but myself.
Right.
Like on silly things. I can't even really think of an example that's good off the top of my head, but I think as an editor or as a filmmaker, filmmaking is all about problem solving. The entire thing is problem solving and rolling with punches and being personable with people. It's not even necessarily about the end product. Like obviously that needs to be good and there's like a standard for that. But for the most part, it's being a great person to deal with. Yeah. Making sure you don't mess stuff up.
I've heard so many stories of being like, yeah, he's a great product, but oh, he's terrible to work with.
All the time.
You can be less talented and just be a better person and you'll get more work.
Also know that these mistakes are going to happen.
Right.
We're however many years into it and we're still making mistakes. We're still learning every day on the job. So like, you're going to make these mistakes. Just take a note of it and I just like check all your bases, during the shoots.
I almost quit when I forgot the memory card the second time, or the batteries. No, actually, dude, I remember being in my room.
You're gonna quit video in 10. Just too much.
Swan dive off the roof.
No, like 100% because so I forgot the batteries or whatever, or the memory card for that guy. And I go, you know what, Braden, you're never gonna do that again. You're never gonna do that again. And then like a month later, something at a sorority video, and we hike up like a damn mountain. And
I remember this.
The story's so good.
We hike up the mountain, like we got like 25 girls there. I'm directing them. Great shoot. Like we're crushing it. Got the Canon T5i. We're making magic. Get all the way up to this goddamn mountain. Open the bag and I'm like, son of a bitch. And I pull one of these. So for those that are obviously listening to the pod, if you put your finger in your mouth and you go, makes that good little noise. Yeah. So I pull one of those up at the top, put my finger up in the air and I go 18 mile per hour from Southwest. Like, Yeah, that's a no-fly zone. That's a no-fly zone. I'm gonna have to come back up here another day, but I'll get this done. We'll work on that, and we will get this sent back, packaged over.
Listen, if you see the way the FAA works, if it's above 12 knots, it's just like it's illegal, and we'll all go to jail.
I might kill someone right now, and I don't think any of us want this to happen. So
the drone's not in control in that kind of wind.
I felt like an idiot, and we got down, and I look at the stuff. The footage was super cool, and I was just like, I remember looking in the mirror that night, and I was like, you need to go off that roof right now.
Yeah,
like,
you need to figure this out.
I'm like, this is the second time you've done this, dude. And I also have like really bad ADD, so it's so easy for me to miss stuff like that. Like, I think that was for the I know for those.
Wait, you forgetting stuff?
Yeah, for those listening, like I forget stuff all the time.
Every day
that I walk out of the house to come back into an apartment, I usually come back in maybe three or four times.
And that's not an exaggeration.
No. It's completely serious.
I remember once you were like on the way to like a Lakers game to shoot, and you're like, I came back, I forgot this. And we're like, dude, the game started. Like,
no way. I'm
kidding. He's always on time. He's a great player. But
no, but I definitely like on just to leave the house. I come back.
I mean, Braden and I fly FPV every Wednesday night.
I haven't been forgetting shit, dude, at the FPV.
And
you've been forgetting.
Yeah,
you've been forgetting.
At first, you were forgetting hella stuff.
No, dude, because there's
like 10 things.
Bro. There's a damn headset. You have to remember to put the stupid antennas on the headset. You have to remember to put 4 specific propellers that are 2 red and 2 gray.
There's a battery for the headset that's like not even a part of the headset that you have to remember. Cord, and there's a cord for the battery that fits in your pocket for some reason. It's a terrible design. There's a remote controller, which I forgot on a whole trip. I just didn't have the controller because it was still charging. And then there's a drone, and then there's batteries, which I always forget to bring like the extra
Chase forgot his batteries last time we went, so I had to loan him one because I'm not a rookie.
Right. Yeah, what is this, rookie hour,
Dude, last time Brayden and I were just chasing each other at like, angle like was like 28. Like we were going at least 45
We're
miles per
getting
hour.
To where these drones are dangerously like
we could decapitate someone.
Oh, for sure. I don't want to ever fly around people. I'm terrified. I think I love just being out in the wilderness and you hear those things. They're like little, just, I don't even know. Just
dude.
Going. Yeah, one more time. Yeah, that's great.
Dude, I will say really quick going off this, speaking of flying FPV in the wilderness, Brayden and I's first FPV mission really quick. We hike to the top of this little mountain and it's like dense jungle. And it's not like soft jungle, it is pokey, dense jungle. And Brayden is like, I'm like pretty conservative at this point. We haven't flown a lot. My approach is like, I'm going to start like a lower angle. I was probably like 15, like going like 10 miles per hour. Like just get in the basics.
Ease myself.
And then I remember Brayden's like, I'm going to get my drone up now. And I just take off my headset and just like so fast, like literally 100 miles per hour. It was terrifying. And I was just laughing. I literally couldn't stop laughing because it was going so fast. And then I just hear, and he just wrecks a tree.
But right before that, do you remember what I said? I go, oh shit, I think that's a tree.
Yeah.
Like I saw it, bro. I saw it and I go, but the thing was all glitchy because I didn't have the damn antennas in the freaking headset. So it was all glitchy. And then I was like, it could be a tree, could not be, could be a bird.
Yeah. It was a whole tree.
You could hear the thing from like
it sounded like a gunshot.
You guys came back from that and I was like, what the happened to you guys?
I mean, we hiked through, when there's trails are good.
Yeah.
When there's not a trail and it's just dense jungle, we just went through it. Like there was no other way to get to this drone.
I imagine it was like Paul Bunyan type shit.
Like we were literally, and I was in like shorts. You had like a long sleeve, but I had like, I was just terrible.
Lulu joggers just got destroyed.
Yeah, hats destroyed. We were literally bleeding like head to toe. It was just terrible. But we like knew each other kind of. We became brothers that night.
No, yeah,
like,
that night it was like
yeah. I was like, we're in this together.
Brothers. Like instead of handshaking normal, you grab wrists.
Yeah, absolutely. And we found that freaking drone under that tree. And it was still on. It was just absolutely wrecked.
Oh, yeah, the fact that you guys actually ended up finding it is...
And because we have DJI Refresh, like we got a free drone because of we found that.
You have to find the drone. That was the whole thing.
Oh, we forgot to mention, it is pitch black.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing.
It was the sun had already set, and then Chase
crashed.
Chase was being such a good friend though, because I was like clearly like super pissed off and sad because I've had the drone that was the second time I've flown it, maybe, right? Had it for like a week, and then that happens, and he could have totally been a bitch and be like, yo, like I'm not going down that, like F that.
I mean, it is nighttime. There are mountain lions out there. I'm not even kidding.
No, for sure.
It is pitch black. Like we're using phone flashlights, but I think our phones died and shit.
No, your phone died, and my phone was at 5%.
It was so gnarly.
Oh my god.
You're lucky you were with Chase on that one because I'd be out. I'm so not an outdoorsy person when it comes to hiking.
I had my pocket knife with me. I was ready to roll, dude.
Yeah.
I was ready to murk a mountain lion. Those drones though have been so good.
So fun.
So good at allowing us to do a new thing in our social media channels. And I think it's been so fun to just see how we've grown with it, because we have these videos from like months back of how bad we were, and now we get to document that process on social.
Absolutely.
You know, and I want to just kind of touch on the main, not touch on. I want to go into the main portion.
Let's dig in there.
Let's just
Let's like pretend like you're on a cliff and you're just diving right into
the pod. So
you're getting in there.
I want to talk about.
Give us some more metaphors.
Give me one more. I want to talk about.
You know when like you're a little kid and there's a sandbox?
Oh yeah.
We're jumping in that sandbox.
Nice.
We're not just putting our hand in the top.
There it is.
Yeah. All very PG. That was very difficult for me to go PG.
How do you think, coaches, that you've used social media to, one, make money? We'll start there. Let's start with making money on social and how you've kind of leveraged it to start working with bigger brands and where you sit right now with the whole thing.
Yeah. So making money off of social media is the coolest thing ever. I mean, Chase, we always talk about how you're just like, the fact that you can do a brand deal. And
I don't make money on social media, but a lot of times I'll help coaches and I'm like, you're just like making thousands of dollars right now.
Yeah.
While we're like sitting in this park and I'm like taking pictures of you while eating Jimmy John's. It's great. There's more work.
It was actually Jersey Mike's, but
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we were actually doing specifics.
it's all good.
But we do love Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, love Jersey Mike's.
Big sponsor of the pod.
Great.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our first sponsor, Jersey Mike's. Just kidding.
Making money off social media is awesome, and I do the freelance video and photography stuff for other clients, and then I also have my social media stuff where I work with brands and partner with them and create content. And it's awesome because it allows me to have multiple streams of income. And also every time I do a brand deal, I'm like, it blows my mind that a brand would pay me to like create content, which obviously like you go above and beyond and try to give them like really high quality stuff, which I kind of pride myself on, is like, if you're coming to me and you want some content, like I'm going to try to give you the highest quality content.
Absolutely.
My goal is to, every time I turn in like a brand deal, be like, wow, we did not expect you to.
I mean, I think you do though, because I look at like
absolutely.
Most of the ads on social that influencers do suck. Like they're just ass.
They suck.
They're so bad. They're so they're unoriginal. They're just like,
and it's just like, it's like a, hey boyfriend, can you take a picture on my iPhone?
Yeah, or it's like just buy it. Just go get it. Just buy it. It's just dumb. I think that you do a good job because it integrates into your feed and doesn't look, dude, like, I'm not going to say whose brand deal this was today, but we saw one and it's just so bad. I'm not, we can't say who it was.
Okay.
It was just so bad. Yeah. It was just so bad, just awful. And it's crazy because it was a big brand that sponsored said person,
literally.
You know, and it's weird to see how much money that you know that's getting thrown in. And that's like the creative that comes out of it.
And I think it's important just in social in general is to like take that extra step, because that's how you get somewhere.
You'll get more work. You'll get more everything. How much work do you think you've gotten because they've given you like, say, an okay deal or something that you're like, oh, maybe this isn't as much money as I normally ask, but the brand's cool, and then you go above and beyond and you get more work.
Yeah, so there's two sides of it. If a brand comes to me that maybe I don't really want to work with, but I'm like, the deliverables aren't so crazy and like I'm down to do it, sometimes I'll throw a little bit higher of a number, and if they say no, so be it. I was like, I didn't really want to do it anyways.
Right.
Sometimes they're throwing out quite a big bag and I'm like, fuck it, which maybe is not the best way to go about it, but
well, I think it's a testament to just freelance work in general, like that we all do. It's like sometimes
that's super fair.
Sometimes companies or agencies or clients will come to you and be like, will you make this super boring corporate video? And you're like, I don't want to do that video, so here's an egregious number.
Yeah,
because if they say yes to that, you're gonna be smiling the whole time.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to do this, but like,
if
bags.
Yeah, exactly.
the rent.
And exactly, yeah, we got bills to pay nowadays.
Right.
The other side of it is getting to work with brands that I wouldn't ever in a million years think I would get to work with.
Sure.
For example, something that Braden helped me with is shooting a Converse video.
That was sweet.
Converse is one of my favorite brands. You guys know, I wear Vans and Converse every day.
All the time.
We chefed.
Yeah, and like, and we really went ham and like made a full-on commercial, and like that's what I think gets more work. I'll give you another example. I did I worked with a company called Cremo, which I've worked with them like multiple times. I actually genuinely use their products. It's hair gel. And I did a video where I got a haircut on a beach. And it's like, that hasn't been done before. I haven't seen something like that going to
a location.
Yeah, it's like they asked me for a video, and I feel like they would typically get a some kid in a bathroom recording on their iPhone, like, this is how I do my hair. And I'm like, no, I'm going to get my barber and we're going to go set up on a beach and I'm going to hire someone to film it for me and somebody else to do like photos. And I think it's going above and beyond for that. The company, the brand was like, they literally said, I'm speechless. This is like incredible. And then it led to more work with them. And
you never know like who's going to see your
exactly.
Because even if it's just like a little thing that you even maybe aren't getting that much money for, it's like if you do the extra step, sometimes that leads to insane opportunities because people notice like that's a really good video or photo.
And I think for like all those listening that are either trying to be creators or full-time creatives and want to track more work, you can apply that.
Or you just think we're hot.
Let's not get crazy.
That's a given.
or you think like, just lost my damn train of thought, Chase. Unbelievable. God damn it.
Because people are listening are creators or whatever.
No, yeah. So people that are listening are either creatives or aspiring creatives or full-time creatives. What you can do is when you use that like mentality of, okay, I'm going to like put all my effort into this. I'm going to make this like it's $1 million commercial.
Yes.
Then I think you really start to attract the work that you want to do. Because I feel like I always had the mindset when I was younger and like maybe a year into it when somebody like, oh, say, okay, hypothetical, I'll give you $200 to make a video. And I'm like, no, my rate's $500. So then I'd make that video like it was a $200 video and it wouldn't be as good. Honestly, it just wouldn't be as good. And I'd be like, they don't deserve it because they're not willing to pay my, now I have the ability to not take work that's not paying what I want. But back then I didn't. I had to like take it because I'm like, shit, I need to eat Chipotle this week, you know? So
I also think
switching that mindset to just try and make everything you can the best you can make it if you end up taking it on.
Absolutely. I also think that sticking with the social media theme, obviously there's brands that I work with specifically to make branded content for social media. There's also the freelance work that you do, then you can utilize that content that you're making for that freelance gig, whatever you're shooting, and post that on social media as well. You never know who's gonna see that as well, and that may lead to other work. And sometimes there's opportunities that arise where maybe the budget isn't as high or like not your typical rate, but you're allowed or you do it anyways because you're like, this is a great opportunity to like add something to my portfolio, and it's a really cool project that like I haven't shot something like this before, or you're like, oh, this would do really well on TikTok or Instagram. And then you kind of are killing two birds in one stone.
Right. Yeah. It goes like the opposite of what I was saying earlier, where it's like, if it's a really boring project, you're like, okay, I'm going to charge you a ton of money. But sometimes people come to you, it's like a really cool project. And they're just like, we just don't have a lot of money. So a lot of the times it's worth it to do that. Because if you're passionate about like shooting or making or whatever, and you're like, that the creative is so good, like this is just gonna be fun, it's gonna be good for me down the road because other people will see this even if I'm not making that much money.
Yeah. And I mean, where do you right now see the future of social going? Like for those listening, where do you think they should spend a lot of their time producing content on? What should they be focusing on? Where do you think it's going?
I think TikTok is the number one platform you should be spending your time. I think you never want to be reliant on one platform.
For sure.
I think TikTok is just where the attention's at right now. I think Instagram is transitioning and might already be what Facebook became once Instagram became poppin'. Hot take.
Slammed
them. And you heard that take from Gary Vee. And now that I'm like listening to that take and thinking about it more, I've been thinking about that take for the past like 24 hours, like constantly. I really do think that it's true because TikTok took over as the number one, whatever. It was, I can't remember most hours like on the platform. I can't remember the exact statistic, but I think it was like that. It overtook YouTube as the most consumed platform.
Yeah.
That's crazy because as someone who, my career was learned off of YouTube.
Absolutely.
Which is nuts, right? Like, and I've learned to drive stick on YouTube. I've learned so many things in my life that have helped me positively because of YouTube, and I don't spend a ton of time on it anymore, but I used to spend like in college hours on YouTube all the time. Right. That was like my whole life was Casey Neistat watching his YouTube, whatever. That's great. Do you think we just spilled smoothie all over the ground? That actually builds character for the podcast.
Could I have producer Matt? Could you just
really bring a rag and just clean that shit up, please?
Thanks, man.
Back to what I was saying. I think it's just gonna go. This is weird. I think you're gonna use TikTok to leverage to make your brand. I think you'll grow your brand effectively on TikTok, and then you'll distribute it to other platforms because TikTok doesn't pay creators shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that, the brands will come to TikTok and will pay them money, but TikTok as an app right now is paying you like $100 for 100,000 of views, hundreds of thousands of views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do they pay money?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but
if
it's
you're in the creator
not,
fund, but they like low key nerf you being. I think they low key nerf you being in that little creator fund.
Yeah, no, it's
really?
Like 100%, because I popped in the creator fund and my views just tanked.
Really?
I swear to God. And I was like, what is going on?
They don't want to pay out.
And they gave me my first video that once I hopped in, boosted the shit out of it. And I was like, oh, let's go. I'm going to be rich off this little silly app. And then it started nerfing all the videos. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Not even my followers are seeing them. You're looking at it. It's like, it's showing them to like 30% of your followers. It's like, what's
so
going
weird.
You know what I mean? But I do think that if you're not one of those top dogs, if you're not a person that's racking in like millions of views, hundreds of thousands, every single video, you really have to have a strategy to go about the platform.
Yeah, I want to stay on this for a little bit because I think that two things.
Hit me.
TikTok is a platform where there's organic reach right now, and
Still.
And you don't need to create the quote unquote highest quality content, and you can still be successful on that app.
Keep going, but YouTube is the highest quality content.
That's
there's a huge barrier.
That's where I was going. I think YouTube takes the most time and energy and creativity to really be successful. If you can create a brand and become successful on YouTube, I think that is still right now like the holy grail. With Instagram and TikTok, the viewer's attention span is so low.
It's like a squirrel.
Right.
It literally is like a squirrel.
I feel like when you go to YouTube, you're expecting to watch longer videos. And so if you can get an audience to pay attention for a longer time, that's where they really get to know you and build trust with you.
And if you like are going to YouTube to watch someone's 5 minute, like you love them.
Yeah.
Like I love Van Nuys.
Yeah, I love
I love him.
I think about that too. You were so right. If you watch someone on YouTube or listen to their podcast, we talked about this the other day, you enjoy that creator a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're literally spending your time to go to the platform, like, or passively listen to them. You don't want to listen to someone's voice that you hate. We talked about this.
Absolutely not.
You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. It's going to be crazy to see where the future of it is, because right now brands are on TikTok, and I want to say that they're there, in my opinion, at no more than a 10%. And I consider Instagram to be at 100% of brand. Like, let's talk like of brands posting on the platform.
Okay.
Every other fucking thing is an ad, and you swipe right through it.
And I think that's because Facebook took over Instagram and was like,
well, they have to make money. They have to make money somehow. They have to eventually. Here's the whole thing. This is what happens with all of these apps. All of these apps they're free. They're free for us to use. You are the product. When when it's a free product, you are the product.
Right.
So eventually, all of their business models are like, okay, we're gonna get a bunch of people in here. We'll see what the hell they take the app, because the people decide where it goes. Right. Like TikTok was Musically. Now it's TikTok. It's all kind of crazy. We don't have brands really hammering it yet. Once the brands start to hammer it, the attention goes slowly starts to fall off, right? That's what we're seeing with Instagram right now. Instagram's not, in my opinion, Instagram's not fun. Is that a fair thing?
It's not fun.
Is that a fair thing to say? I don't go on Instagram and I'm like, let's go. I go on TikTok and I like genuinely enjoy the content.
We're having a good time on
TikTok. Same with YouTube. I go on and I like my creators. I enjoy my creators that I follow and like give a shit about. I'll like, oh, okay, I like this. But I think on Instagram, I'm just like clicking my buddy's stories and I swipe a few times. I'm like, that's great. It's the same thing.
I totally agree.
You know?
Yeah.
I will also say, going off of that, and to go back to your question about like where do you see social media kind of going, I think for a really long time when Instagram was the top dog, that top app, everyone was so consumed and focused on trying to make their life look perfect, and the feed needs to be perfect, and it was not very authentic. And I think people, like, I just think as a society right now, we're craving that authentic
for sure
connection with a creator. And so I think that going more authentic, more raw, more real is going to benefit you. And also longer form content like podcasts have really emerged and become popular because people like to sit down and just hear conversation.
And you can't hide who you are on a podcast.
You also can. The reason podcasts are huge is because I noticed you do this like in the grocery store last night. Kostas is ripping a pod while shopping or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
You know? And you're getting people at the gym.
I was actually listening to 50 Cent.
He was listening to a podcast while he was at the grocery store.
I mean, I listen to a podcast all day, every day. I drive, listen to a podcast. I'm editing. Yeah. I'm doing like motion graphic stuff, After Effects stuff. just listen to a podcast the whole time.
And it's great because you really feel like you know the person that you're listening to. You've never met them.
I literally have had this feeling like, oh, I just want to like hang out with those guys.
Yeah.
I literally felt like that. So I just listen to their podcast.
100%.
I don't know Jason Bateman, you know?
No, and I think too, you have to think of yourself as a media company. So you gotta step back and say, my name is Kostas Garcia, and I'm gonna this is a weird comparison. I'm just gonna use the brand because it popped in my head. Like Coca-Cola. You have to look at Coca-Cola. Let's do someone that's good. What's a good brand that does well on social? Can you give me one? Can you just throw one at me? Like the Detroit Lions. Let's use that because they're good at TikTok. Let's just use that.
Are they?
They're great at TikTok. So you have to look at a great brand that's crushing social and say, what are they doing right? Or like a media person like Ryan Serhant. It's a good example.
Yeah,
that's let's use Ryan Serhant as an example. Ryan Serhant's great. You look at what Ryan's doing and say, okay, Ryan's posting twice a week on YouTube. Granted, Ryan has a team of 100 people, whatever. But then say, how can I do this on a smaller scale for my personal brand? So if it means 2 TikToks a week, YouTube videos are bitches to make, but 1 YouTube video every few weeks or whatever's going to make sense for you so your sanity is still there. And that's how I think you have to treat yourself as a brand, because then you can do a few things. You can grow your audience, which by just posting what you're doing, you grow your audience. The other side of that is by posting your work, you also track your progress. You get better. You attract brands by sending out better work that you're making. You know what I mean? So you have the opportunity, if you do treat yourself like a media company, to eventually, a year, whatever down the line, monetize off of the podcast, the TikTok, the YouTube, whatever. You can have a side income from that. Then you still have your main income of whatever it is you do. You're a designer, you're whatever. Because anyone can make the content on those social platforms. But the creators, I think in the next few years, there's going to be a big shift, because right now, I think on TikTok, you have brands that are posting shit and they're paying for it and it's not hitting.
Right.
Because it's not for the fucking app. What would you say would be, some of the best ways that creators can make their social channels stand out? In this right now, what would you do? What platforms? Where would you post? How often?
I think the beauty with TikTok, and I actually wanted to touch on this, is there's never really been an app before where you get trends and you can also like run with original content. So it's like there's certain trends that are really popular on TikTok, and those do really well. That allows you to kind of like not put as much time or effort into a piece of content and get that seen. But then you're able to, produce original content where you really show off your work. I feel like for me personally, that's kind of like the route I've taken. I think it's important to talk to the camera. I think anytime you can
so hard.
And it isn't easy. But I think anytime that you can connect with your audience, because like trends are great, but they're here one day and they're gone the next.
And you don't I feel like you don't follow for like a trend video. You see someone do a trend, you're like, oh, that's funny.
You like it and you
like it and you go home. But like if you see maybe you'll see their trend and like go to their page, and then you see like their original work that's like, oh, this is like who they are, this is how they do it.
Yeah.
That's what you follow for, because that's unique to them. You know what I mean? Or else you could just see a million trends on the page.
Uniqueness will always win. I think for those listening,
that's key.
You got to think about how you can make original content. And again, like original, when we say original, it's never really original. You know what I'm saying? It's never really original, but I think just make it unique to your experiences.
Absolutely.
And then you can really start to go off of that, especially with where you're at, because it's very this is a great example. There's this guy that I follow on TikTok who is a farmer, and he used to live in the city, and then he dipped out to the Midwest, and now he has like 5 ox, a dog, a bunch of chickens, and he has like 2 million followers on TikTok. Every day it's just a damn vlog about the farm and what's going on that day. And I'm like, this is so interesting. And he's racking in millions of views every single time. And I'm like, this is interesting because it's unique. It's different from these people on New York City and in LA have no idea what it's like to run a farm.
Right.
Super interesting to see that perspective and see what that's like. That's why that stuff hits. And you can apply that to anything. Perspective will always be interesting.
It's also authentic, like Kostas was saying, because 100%. This is guy's just his experience on he's not pretending to be Jay Alvarez, like diving out of planes and like hooking up with models. He's just a guy that runs a farm. Yeah. And that's really interesting because it's like his true experience.
And he talks about everything. And I think that's what, like you said, authenticity will always win. It might lose in the short term for some of these people, but I think in the end it always is going to win.
Absolutely.
I also think that I feel like most of the viewers of our podcast are probably going to be interested in photography and video, but this farmer proves that there's an audience there out for any type of content. Like if you are like, oh, my life's not interesting enough, or well, I don't know what to film, like do what you do on like, or film, make content around what you do on a daily basis, and like
vlogs, dude.
Yeah. Like figure out like who you are and present that, whatever that is. Cause that's uniquely different every time because you're your own person.
And if you're still trying to figure out who you are, try a bunch of different stuff until you figure it out.
Right. And I think that's and dude, it would be so interesting. I think this was in the pandemic. Someone had hit me up and I think they ended up doing this. They're like, I don't know what I want to do. It's like, okay, that's great. No, neither does anybody else. Yeah. You're not alone. Everyone feels that way at your age, whatever, you know? And so I was like, why don't you just try? Like, I don't know if I want to do video, photo. I'm like, you should go try it, suck at it, and film the process of sucking at it.
Interesting.
Because a bunch of other people are going to be interested that are like you, that were on the fence of doing it. And then you're going to be the person that ended up doing it and taking the leap, and you're going to struggle, and people are going to be like, shit, I can go struggle with Jake.
Right.
Like, he's doing it though. I'm complaining on my couch. I'm not doing it. I'm going to ask him some questions because he's failed a few times at this and he's getting better. You know?
And people I feel like in like high school, say at least when I was in high school, like people make fun of the kid that goes for it, which is just ridiculous. But like the kid that's like, you know what, I'm going to like try to make YouTube videos, and because you're going to suck at first.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, it's not cool. You got to just like do what everyone else does. But like that kid wins in the end, man. He does, because he's gonna get better, or her gonna get better, and he's gonna get out of that high school where people just like crap on the people that like actually go for stuff.
Do you remember the app Yik Yak?
Of course.
I had a page in college. This had to have had like hundreds and hundreds of comments just shitting on my YouTube videos.
Oh no.
Yeah,
man.
and someone started, and I was like, damn, this is what it feels like to be like hated.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, they're like, these 3 douchey guys like go lift in the gym, they film it, and they think it's so cool, and I'm like, fuck. Like, man, that's me right there. Yeah. And dude, this thing had to have had at least 200 or 300 comments like roasting us, just like, and they're anonymous.
Yeah.
And I remember being in the dorm, and I was like, okay, like I can not do these things, and then they all win. All these hundreds of people
win. All win.
Or I can just keep doing it because I like doing it, and I'm also like helping some people out in the fitness space.
Yeah.
And I kept doing it. Now
Look at you now, baby.
I won, baby.
You definitely won.
Come on.
Silent Nux for the listener, so it doesn't hurt.
Boom. But that's just an example I can think of. Like you
just get ripped on when you go for stuff.
Anything that you ever do that's going to be different, it's going to be the butt end of a joke. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but take it and earn it, and it'll be better in the end, for sure.
I think so too. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that's probably about where we're going to wrap up episode 2 of the 505 podcast. If you're still tuning in, do us a favor, take a screenshot of that beautiful gold logo, and what do you?
Yellow.
Costas made that. He worked really hard on it.
Worked night and day.
Lob that up on your story, tag all the boys, and we will be sure to DM you back. Appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you guys all next week. Peace out.
Bye.
Later.